Chapter 3671. The Cycle of Life, Reincarnation. Lin Moyu felt the tidal storm, which was essentially a storm of the Great Tao's power. After the Nine Treasures' resonance ended, an invisible force calmed the chaotic Great Tao forces in the Void Realm. It was like a spring that had been tightly compressed and couldn't move. When the compressing hand released, the spring would bounce back more vigorously. The current situation in the Void Realm was similar. The Great Tao forces rebounded intensely, forming numerous tidal storms that swept across the entire realm. The Void Realm roared in the storm, and countless Void Beasts suffered. Each small soul domain king used their innate treasures to struggle for survival in the storm. The storms varied in strength, and each location experienced different conditions. Sometimes luck played a role. The Void Realm was indeed cruel. On the Origin continent, Tao lords of that level wouldn't worry about their lives unless they acted recklessly. However, in the Void Realm, small soul domain kings could also face life or death crises. A tidal storm would cause a third of the Void Beasts to fall, and many small soul domain kings would die as well. But soon, new Void Beasts would replenish the losses, and new small soul domain kings would emerge. In no time, the Void Realm would return to its original state, as if nothing had happened. During the tidal storm, Lin Moyu saw some unusual scenes. Threads of soul flames were being swept into the beast abyss by the storm. These flames came from Void Beasts that had perished, leaving behind residual souls that disappeared into the abyss. The Soul Heart King said,
"Lin friend, you've seen it too."
Lin Moyu nodded.
"I don't know what's going on."
The Soul Heart King explained,
"This is another legend about the Beast Abyss. It's said that the Beast Abyss is the final resting place for all Void Beasts. Their souls return there after death. However, we can't see this normally, only during tidal storms. Legends are just legends. They shouldn't be taken as true."
Lin Moyu couldn't see into the Beast Abyss and asked,
"Has any emperor entered the Beast Abyss?"
The Soul Heart King seemed to have anticipated this question and smiled.
"Indeed, the Golden Seal Emperor once entered the Beast Abyss to explore its depths. The Golden Seal Emperor never returned, but the Golden Seal, an innate origin treasure, came back on its own. Since then, the Golden Seal Emperor's position has changed hands. In all these years, the transfer of the Emperor's position has been rare, with only a few emperors entering the real world and causing a change in the position."
Lin Moyu asked,
"Did the Golden Seal Emperor die?"
The Soul Heart King shook its head.
"No one knows if they're dead or alive. Since then, no emperor has dared to enter the Beast Abyss. However, some first-level soul void beasts and reckless small soul domain kings have entered but never returned."
Lin Moyu felt that the Soul Heart King's words were contradictory. If no one returned, how did they know about the formation within the Beast Abyss, and where did this information come from? The Soul Heart King seemed to sense Lin Moyu's doubt.
"The legends about the Beast Abyss actually came from the Discernment Beast. It heard rumors from the real world. This message suggests that someone entered the Beast Abyss and survived, finding the formation. Unfortunately, the Discernment Beast only heard fragments."
Lin Moyu asked,
"Why didn't it hear more?"
The Soul Heart King replied,
"When the Discernment Beast heard this, it was severely injured. It said that listening further would be dangerous, risking complete destruction."
Lin Moyu was very curious about what the Discernment Beast had heard, feeling that there must be more to it than what was said. The tidal storm continued, with countless soul flames flying into the Beast Abyss. If these souls could be refined into crystals, they could significantly enhance one's cultivation to the first-level soul. This Beast Abyss was one of 3 in the Golden Furnace Great Soul Domain, surrounded by many small soul domains and countless Void Beasts. The residual souls of Void Beasts that died in the tidal storm all entered the Beast Abyss. Lin Moyu thought to himself,
"If what the Soul Heart King said is true, and the souls of Void Beasts that die normally also enter the Beast Abyss, how many souls must be inside?"
Lin Moyu didn't doubt the Soul Heart King's words, but also didn't blindly believe his own death's eye. Just because he hadn't seen souls entering the Beast Abyss didn't mean it wasn't happening. Suddenly, an idea struck him,
could it be?
He thought of his own multiverse, where the worlds were connected by the world tree's branches to the bone hell. If the multiverse was considered the real world and the void realm as the bone hell, could the beast abyss be seen as a world tree branch? The residual souls of void beasts entering the beast abyss might have a chance to enter the real world through a special connection. If this were true, Lin Moyu thought of another possibility.
This cycle of life resembles the Buddhist concept of reincarnation. Yin and Yang alternate, death leads to Yin, and rebirth leads to Yang, resolving past karma, and the world is reborn ceaselessly.
Lin Moyu felt that his understanding of the world's deepest layers had increased. This journey had brought him gains, and when he returned with these insights, his multiverse would also benefit. The bone hell wasn't just a place for killing enemies. It might have greater uses. Both the origin continent and the void realm were excellent references, allowing him to learn much. After a while, the tidal storm gradually subsided. The void realm returned to its original state, with the vacuum zones full of dangers, both long-standing and suddenly erupting. The chaotic mist regained its vitality, surging again, and the amount of chaotic mist in the void realm increased manyfold. A tidal storm seemed to have infused the void realm with new vitality, like a rebirth. The void beasts that survived the storm became stronger, with significant increases in power. The weakest improved by 1 level and some by 2.
This is what they mean by a reshuffle.
Lin Moyu sighed in his heart. The Soul Heart King said,
It's finally over. Each time we experience a tidal storm, it's like walking between life and death. This time was the most comfortable.
This time, the Soul Heart King had watched others struggle while feeling very comfortable itself. Lin Moyu's gaze became sharper as he prepared to take action, planning to slaughter nearby void beasts and refine them into soul crystals. Just then, a massive, oppressive force swept in from the distance, covering the area where Lin Moyu was. In the void, a large island appeared, emitting dazzling golden light. On the island, a vague shadow appeared, though its features were unclear. Lin Moyu could sense that it was staring at him. Under the overwhelming pressure, he couldn't speak or move, and neither could the Soul Heart King. After a moment, the pressure dissipated, and the island vanished. The Soul Heart King then spoke with fear.
It was the Golden Pavilion Emperor.
Chapter 3672. The Transcendent Discernment Beast. In the Void Realm, the kings of small soul domains are below the emperors of the great soul domains. There are no other levels between them. It seems like just one step apart, but the actual gap is enormous. Only those who have truly encountered an emperor can deeply understand this. Although Lin Moyu had only seen the emperor's projection, it was enough to make him feel the vast difference between them. He felt that the emperor was even more powerful than the Tao Lords of the origin continent. Lin Moyu had encountered several Tao Lords, including the Third Ancestor, the Beast Emperor, and the King of the Boundary Sea, but none of them compared to the Golden Cauldron Emperor. However, this was understandable. In the entire Void Realm, there were only 9 emperors. In contrast, the real world had countless Tao Lords. If there was a mysterious force behind the scenes, ensuring a fair distribution of power across the worlds, then the Emperor's strength was only natural. The Soul Heart King didn't know Lin Moyu was thinking so deeply. He was still a bit shaken.
This is what an emperor is like. Even if all our small soul domain kings joined forces, we wouldn't be a match for an emperor. The emperor is the supreme ruler of the Void Realm.
Lin Moyu nodded slightly.
Emperors are indeed very powerful, far surpassing the Tao Lords of the real world.
The Soul Heart King shook his head.
I don't know what Tao Lords are, but strong warriors from the real world have challenged emperors before and were easily defeated. There have been several such instances, and even when they came in groups, they were still killed with a single slap by an emperor. Fortunately, the emperor only came to warn you earlier. You should stop merging small soul domains for now. 30 should be enough.
Lin Moyu asked.
What about continuing to slaughter void beasts?
The Soul Heart King replied.
That's fine. Void beasts are like ants to emperors. You can kill them as you please. Emperors like the Golden Cauldron Emperor are more concerned with changes in the entire soul domain.
The Golden Cauldron Emperor only issued a warning this time. If Lin Moyu continued, the next time, the Emperor would likely take action against him. The Soul Heart King thought Lin Moyu was worried and reassured him.
Actually, there's no need to worry. Emperors won't act lightly unless you do something outrageous or provoke them. Let's go. We're going to find the Discernment Beast. The journey is long, so be prepared.
Lin Moyu didn't mind. With his current speed, he could reach his destination eventually. Along the way, the mist was thick, and after the tidal storm, the chaotic mist had regrown, making the entire void realm a misty world, even harder to navigate. Lin Moyu felt his connection to his soul world weakening as he moved further away. He knew he was distancing himself. Using his soul world as a reference, he could roughly sense the direction. The Soul Heart King shared some precautions along the way.
The Discernment Beast is quite approachable. It will answer some questions directly, but for others, you need to offer something in exchange. Don't try to force it. The Discernment Beast lives near the Golden Cauldron Island. Its area was personally opened by an emperor, not a small soul domain, but it's even better than one. Next to the Discernment Beast's residence is the Dragon Lake Small Soul Domain. The King of Dragon Lake has a bad temper and isn't friendly to outsiders. He has killed many cultivators from the real world. It's best not to offend him, as he has a good relationship with the Discernment Beast.
The Soul Heart King shared all he knew, and Lin Moyu took note. The Discernment Beast has existed for an immeasurable number of years. Even the Golden Cauldron Emperor was raised by it and views the Discernment Beast as a father figure. Offending the Discernment Beast would be equivalent to offending the Golden Cauldron Emperor, which explains its high status. Due to its unique abilities, other emperors sometimes come to seek its guidance, further elevating its position. As they flew over soul domain after soul domain, Lin Moyu became more restrained due to the Emperor's warning. He no longer attacked the kings of small soul domains or merged domains. However, they encountered two unclaimed small soul domains. The original kings had perished in the tidal storm, leaving behind innate treasures. Lin Moyu didn't hesitate and took the treasures for himself. He didn't merge the domains but could still refine them to become the new king of those domains. As long as he didn't change the current layout of the small soul domains, the Golden Cauldron Emperor wouldn't intervene. By the time they reached the Dragon Lake small soul domain, Lin Moyu had accumulated 35 innate treasures. Lin Moyu found it strange that these treasures were all incomplete, not resembling normal artifacts. Their shapes included a broken pen, a half seal, and a half painting with an indistinguishable pattern. Combining this with the scene he saw during the treasure resonance, Lin Moyu had reason to believe these innate treasures came from a grand palace, specifically from one small room that seemed to be used for storing stationery. Thus, many of these treasures were writing tools. He shared his doubts with the Soul Heart King, who also didn't know the answer. As they stopped before the Dragon Lake small soul domain, the Soul Heart King said,
"The Dragon King is very powerful. Once we enter, we'll be discovered. Lin friend, please let me do the talking."
Lin Moyu nodded.
Okay.
The Soul Heart King sighed.
I hope the Dragon King is in a good mood. Otherwise, this could be troublesome.
Lin Moyu laughed.
No worries. If it's because we can't see the Discernment Beast, then I'll just go with the Soul Heart King to find the real world.
The Soul Heart King's expression was peculiar.
Lin friend is quite open-minded. However, the real world I'm searching for is actually within the Dragon Lake small soul domain.
Lin Moyu burst out laughing.
No wonder the Soul Heart King kept reminding me to get along with the Dragon King. It turns out this was the main reason.
The Soul Heart King was so enthusiastic about finding the Discernment Beast because he had once discovered a real world within the Dragon Lake small soul domain. Everyone has some personal motives, and Lin Moyu understood this. The Soul Heart King said,
I once came to find the Discernment Beast and accidentally discovered that world while passing through the Dragon Lake small soul domain. At the time, I searched for a long time but found nothing. It seems like fate that Lin friend is also going to find the Discernment Beast.
Lin Moyu laughed.
Indeed, it's fate. Who can say for sure? Perhaps, as the Soul Heart King said, this is indeed a kind of fate.
As they chatted, they entered the Dragon Lake Small Soul Domain. Upon entering, Lin Moyu felt a different atmosphere. The chaotic mist here contained a lot of water vapor, with a hint of will hidden within. Soon, the mist began to churn violently and then dispersed with a loud dragon roar. Chapter 3673. Dare to block my way, I'll kill you. As the Dragon Lake King appeared in sight, Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes. The Dragon Lake King was indeed a divine dragon, no different from those on the Origin continent, except it was a soul body, a type of void beast. The Soul Heart King let out a hearty laugh.
Dragon Lake friend, it's been a while.
The Soul Heart King was skilled at social interactions, and their relationship should have been good. However, considering the Soul Heart King's earlier warnings, Lin Moyu felt that things might not be so simple. The Dragon Lake King's gaze swept past the Soul Heart King and landed on Lin Moyu, speaking in a low voice.
A cultivator from the real world, Soul Heart, why did you bring him here?
The Soul Heart King replied.
This is Lin friend, a friend of mine. I'm just showing him the way to find the Discernment Beast.
The Dragon Lake King sized up Lin Moyu, suddenly twitching his nose. His eyes became sharp, filled with hostility.
You have many innate treasures on you. You've killed many masters.
Lin Moyu didn't respond, neither confirming nor denying. However, he could sense that the Dragon Lake King's gaze had turned unfriendly, even hostile. Clearly, his actions had displeased the Dragon Lake King. The Soul Heart King said,
Dragon Lake King, you know the situation in our place. Fighting and killing is nothing unusual.
The Dragon Lake King snorted.
We void beasts fight among ourselves, but when facing cultivators from the real world, shouldn't we stand together?
The Soul Heart King shook his head.
Unite against outsiders? Is that your idea or the Emperor's? The Emperor has never said such a thing.
The Dragon Lake King said,
The Emperor wouldn't bother with such trivial matters. Soul Heart, as a king of a small soul domain, you didn't attack a cultivator from the real world and instead became friends with them. This is truly shameful for us.
The Soul Heart King seemed displeased.
How I act is none of your concern, Dragon Lake friend. We're just passing through and not here to find you. Please step aside.
The Dragon Lake King spoke in a low voice.
I won't let you pass. What can you do if I don't?
Lin Moyu said.
Soul Heart friend, let's go past it. If it dares to block us, I'll make the Dragon Lake Small Soul Domain change its master.
The Soul Heart King was restrained, but Lin Moyu didn't care about these formalities. Since polite words weren't working, there was no need to continue. If it dared to block them, he would kill it. The Discernment Beast wasn't indispensable, and some things it might not dare to say anyway. The Soul Heart King nodded.
In that case, let's go.
The two ignored the Dragon Lake King and flew forward. The Dragon Lake King, enraged, shouted,
You two are seeking death.
Its aura surged, and the nearby chaotic mist erupted. Dragon roars filled the air as the mist transformed into numerous water dragons, attacking Lin Moyu and the Soul Heart King from all sides. As the Soul Heart King had said, the Dragon Lake King was indeed powerful and not to be underestimated. Just this one attack was among the strongest Lin Moyu had faced from the kings he had encountered. Lin Moyu snapped his fingers, unleashing the world-burning fire, which transformed into countless fire dragons that clashed with the water dragons. In the midst of the roar, both water and fire dragons were scattered. The water dragons turned back into mist, while the fire dragons evolved into a sea of flames. The fire sea had barely formed when it exploded, and the Dragon Lake King couldn't dodge in time, getting burned by the world-burning fire. In an instant, the fire raged across its body, causing the Dragon Lake King to cry out in agony. Lin Moyu had slain dozens of small soul domain kings over the years, using the world-burning fire to refine countless soul crystals. The fire's power had far surpassed its former state. Although it couldn't kill a small soul domain king quickly, it could inflict extreme pain. The pain came from deep within the soul, unbearable for the Dragon Lake King. It quickly retreated from the fire sea, releasing vast amounts of water vapor to try and extinguish the flames. However, the world-burning fire wasn't so easily quenched. It took great pleasure in burning souls. Lin Moyu looked at the Dragon Lake King with some disdain.
Let's go.
The Soul Heart King was surprised by Lin Moyu's strength, which had forced the Dragon Lake King to retreat. He immediately led the way forward, saying,
I didn't expect Lin Friend's strength to have reached such a level. I am impressed.
Lin Moyu replied,
It's not that I'm strong, I just have the advantage of this fire.
The Soul Heart King was curious.
I've seen this fire several times. It's about 70% similar to the Great Tao Essence fire, but there are differences. What kind of flame is this?
Lin Moyu said,
It's a flame left by a senior. You can consider it an enhanced version of the Great Tao Essence fire. The difference isn't significant.
The Soul Heart King was tactful and didn't press further. As they flew for a while, they heard the Dragon Lake King's dragon roars again. It had finally extinguished the flames on its body and was now pursuing them in anger. However, this time it didn't dare approach closely. From a distance, it spat out dragon breath, which transformed into water dragons that swept towards Lin Moyu and the Soul Heart King. At the same time, many void beasts appeared in Lin Moyu's sight. They growled incessantly, their killing intent palpable as they charged towards Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was unimpressed.
It doesn't dare to come itself, so it sends its minions to die.
With a light tap of his finger, the Void God rune flew out and unfolded. Boom! The Thousand Paths formation suddenly appeared, and all the charging void beasts fell into it without exception. The formation displayed countless strange phenomena, severely injuring the void beasts before creating a path for them to follow. The beasts grabbed onto this last chance for survival, entering the core of the formation, only to fall into the world-burning fire and be refined into soul crystals. Lin Moyu had done this countless times over the years. He was extremely proficient. In the blink of an eye, nearly 1,000 void beasts that had charged forward were all killed without exception. Lin Moyu glanced at the Dragon Lake King, which dared not approach closely.
My patience is limited. If you provoke me again, I will kill you.
Saying this, he and the Soul Heart King continued forward. The Dragon Lake King could only roar in anger from behind, but didn't dare to get close. Until the Dragon Lake King's voice faded away, the Soul Heart King wondered.
The Dragon Lake King seems to be in a bad mood, but after being defeated, it didn't fight to the death. This is strange.
Lin Moyu said,
It's not strange. It's because it was injured in the tidal storm, though it tried to hide it. The injury is quite severe. It didn't fight to the death because it was afraid. If it had, the Dragon Lake's small soul domain would have really needed a new master.
The Soul Heart King was surprised.
It was injured. I didn't notice. Lin Friend has good eyesight.
Lin Moyu said,
You didn't notice because you didn't look closely. I observed carefully and saw some signs.
The Soul Heart King chuckled.
This time we offended it, and with its temper, it probably won't let it go easily. It will likely go to the Discernment Beast to complain.
Lin Moyu smiled.
No matter. I don't necessarily need to ask. If it complains, I'll just kill it next time.
With a smile on his face but a fierce aura, if he were truly provoked, he wouldn't even hesitate to kill the Discernment Beast. At worst, he could always retreat back to the real world and not return. Sometimes Lin Moyu was good at weighing his actions, but when he didn't, that was when he was truly reckless. Chapter 3674. The Omniscient Discernment Beast. After passing through the Dragon Lake's small soul domain, they entered a vacuum area. After flying for a while in this area, they finally arrived at the small island where the Discernment Beast resided. Upon seeing the island, Lin Moyu's eyes showed a hint of surprise. He saw a house which was a first for him in the Void Realm. Void beasts lived amidst chaotic mist, with a concept of territory but no houses. Even the Soul Heart King, a king of a small soul domain, generally resided in a place defined by his treasures. It was difficult to build a house in the Void Realm, as most materials from the real world couldn't be brought in. The Discernment Beast's house was made from ethereal materials that emitted a rich Great Tao energy. Just looking at the materials, the house was extremely valuable. What truly surprised Lin Moyu was the chaotic mist under the house. It was no longer chaotic but had transformed into strips that intertwined, forming a special structure. Lin Moyu recognized at a glance that these chaotic mists had formed a divine rune. The rune was incomplete but could be discerned as having a reinforcing effect. It used the chaotic mist to gather and fortify itself, ultimately supporting the house. Just from this, Lin Moyu could tell that the Discernment Beast was truly special. The Soul Heart King stopped about a kilometer away from the house and didn't approach further. Instead, he called out loudly,
Discernment Beast, I've come to visit.
The door opened, and a void beast with a lion's head and a turtle's body slowly emerged. Beside it was a small dragon, shrunk to less than half a meter, which Lin Moyu recognized as the Dragon Lake King. The Dragon Lake King, which had been arrogant in front of Lin Moyu earlier, now changed its demeanor and followed the Discernment Beast quietly, not making a sound. When the Soul Heart King saw the Dragon Lake King, he exchanged a glance with Lin Moyu.
It really came to complain.
Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed, his gaze filled with killing intent. Although asking questions didn't matter much, if someone caused trouble, Lin Moyu wouldn't hesitate to take action. The Discernment Beast looked at the Soul Heart King and said,
Ah, it's you. Come and talk.
The Discernment Beast's voice was old and carried an invisible authority. Its status was transcendent, even when facing several emperors. Emperors who came here would have to be polite and listen to it, as they were seeking its help. The Soul Heart King and Lin Moyu flew over and landed in front of the house. The Discernment Beast was already at a tea table in front of the house, and the Dragon Lake King had transformed its claws to brew tea for the Discernment Beast. The Discernment Beast glanced at Lin Moyu casually.
A cultivator from the real world, you've come to find me. What do you want to ask?
It referred to itself as
Old man.
resembling an elderly person except for its non-human appearance. It also liked drinking tea, a rare trait among void beasts that Lin Moyu had only seen in the Soul Heart King. Lin Moyu wondered if the Soul Heart King had learned this habit from the Discernment Beast. Lin Moyu took out a drop of ancestral water.
Have you seen this before?
The Discernment Beast's eyes narrowed slightly.
Ancestral water?
Clearly, it knew what it was. Lin Moyu continued.
Indeed, it's ancestral water. Do you know its origin?
The Discernment Beast pondered.
Many worlds have it.
Lin Moyu was astonished and asked in a deep voice.
I'm asking about its origin.
The Discernment Beast looked at Lin Moyu and calmly said,
You should know my rules.
Lin Moyu replied,
I do. You set the conditions. If I can fulfill them, I will do my best. I hope that after completing them, you will give me satisfactory answers.
The Discernment Beast shook its head.
Whether my answers satisfy you is your concern. I can only promise to tell you what I know.
Lin Moyu nodded.
All right, then this is the question, the origin of ancestral water. What do you want me to do?
The Discernment Beast glanced at the Dragon Lake King beside it.
Very simple, heal its injuries.
The Dragon Lake King suddenly became agitated.
Discernment Beast, there's no need for him to.
Before it could finish, the Discernment Beast interrupted.
Be quiet and stay still.
The Dragon Lake King immediately closed its mouth, not daring to speak again. This moment showed Lin Moyu the weight of the Discernment Beast's authority, which seemed even greater than that of an emperor. The Discernment Beast asked,
Is there a problem with my condition?
Lin Moyu replied,
No problem.
With a tap of his finger, a spirit flower flew out, blooming beautifully in the void.
Enter this flower.
Lin Moyu said. The Discernment Beast looked at the Dragon Lake King and said in a low voice,
Go in.
The Dragon Lake King obediently entered the spirit flower, which quickly closed around it. Lin Moyu chuckled.
It's really obedient.
The Discernment Beast sighed.
The little dragon is generally well behaved, just occasionally has a bad temper.
Lin Moyu said.
Sometimes having a bad temper can lead to fatal consequences.
The Discernment Beast sighed.
As you say, people have their own destinies. If it's meant to be, there's nothing to be done. I've done all I can, the rest depends on fate.
Lin Moyu realized that the Discernment Beast had seen and heard a great deal. Its ability to
listen
might not just be about hearing. Perhaps it could also depict scenes through sound. If so, what it heard would be no different from what it saw. Lin Moyu felt his guess was likely true. The Soul Heart King listened to their conversation without interrupting, like a forgotten presence. After a while, the spirit flower gradually dispersed, and the Dragon Lake King flew out, letting out a thunderous dragon roar. The Discernment Beast frowned.
Be quiet.
The dragon roar stopped abruptly, and the Dragon Lake King didn't dare make another sound. After being treated by the spirit flower, its injuries had healed. Although it still looked at Lin Moyu unfavorably, it was somewhat better than before. The Discernment Beast said,
You all leave now. Lin friend, stay for a moment.
The Dragon Lake King clearly didn't want to leave and wanted to say something, but it was intimidated by the Discernment Beast's glance and retreated. The Soul Heart King bowed to the Discernment Beast and left. Only Lin Moyu and the Discernment Beast remained in front of the house. The Discernment Beast said slowly,
Lin friend, sit down and have some tea.
Lin Moyu sat down.
Have I fulfilled your condition, senior?
The Discernment Beast chuckled.
The spirit flower can heal any wound.
Its voice was like thunder, directly revealing the name of the spirit flower, which surprised Lin Moyu.
How did you know this was a spirit flower?
The Discernment Beast replied.
I not only know about the spirit flower but also know that you are Lin Moyu from the origin continent.
Lin Moyu was enlightened.
Senior, you are indeed omniscient. Nothing can be hidden from you.
The Discernment Beast shook its head, resembling an old scholar.
I've just lived a bit longer and like to listen to things here and there, so naturally I know more. Do you really want to know the origin of ancestral water?
$3,675. Chapter 3675. Asking Questions. Facing the Discernment Beast's inquiry, Lin Moyu chose to answer affirmatively without hesitation. He said in a low voice,
I know that I might be touching on the biggest secret in this world. I want to know, but I wonder if you dare to tell me.
The Discernment Beast laughed, its somewhat aged laughter tinged with a hint of resignation. Above the small house, chaotic mist rose, and the Discernment Beast manipulated it with ease, enveloping the entire area. The chaotic mist was incredibly dense, blocking sight and isolating the heavens and earth. Lin Moyu asked,
Is this necessary?
The Discernment Beast replied,
Just for my own comfort, to ease my mind. I always keep my word. Since you healed the little dragon, I will naturally tell you what I shouldn't have said. However, whatever consequences you face after hearing this, that's your affair, not mine.
Lin Moyu said,
Of course, I will take full responsibility for any consequences.
The Discernment Beast gazed at the chaotic mist, and Lin Moyu followed its gaze. The mist churned and transformed, and a large gourd appeared in the void. The gourd was full of holes with water flowing out of it. Under the gourd, the chaotic mist condensed into small human figures. This scene was familiar to Lin Moyu from his time in the other shore realm. The Discernment Beast said,
The place of origin?
Lin Moyu's heart was shaken, and he blurted out,
I have been to the place of origin, but it wasn't like this.
The Discernment Beast said,
I don't know if you've been to the place of origin. Although I can hear across countless realms, I'm not always listening, and there are always gaps. Perhaps what you saw and heard in the place of origin wasn't the full picture. Anyway, this is my answer regarding the origin of ancestral water.
Lin Moyu asked in a low voice.
Did you see a white-robed old man in the place of origin?
He was certain that the Discernment Beast's
hearing
wasn't just about sound, it could see through sound. Upon hearing the words,
white-robed old man,
the Discernment Beast trembled.
How did you know?
Lin Moyu said.
I won't hide it from you. I once saw him briefly. The ancestral water I have was given to me by him. He said we have a connection.
The Discernment Beast laughed again. Its laughter filled with resignation.
I've seen him too, but I was left with severe injuries, nearly dying.
Fear filled the Discernment Beast's voice. Lin Moyu knew that the Discernment Beast must have seen something it shouldn't have. He had only met the white-robed old man once and felt that the old man was kind and not someone to inspire fear. The Discernment Beast said,
Let's stop here. Don't mention this again.
Lin Moyu understood that the Discernment Beast didn't want to discuss ancestral water anymore. Although his question wasn't fully answered, he had gained a clue. It all pointed to the place of origin, a mysterious location hidden deep within the origin continent. Perhaps his previous visit had only shown him a small part of it, and there were more secrets there. Lin Moyu asked,
Is there another question I can ask?
The Discernment Beast nodded.
You can ask, and I'll set conditions.
Lin Moyu asked,
Do you know of a world called Huaxia?
From small worlds to large worlds, from the origin continent to the current void realm, Lin Moyu had many questions for the Discernment Beast which could hear across countless realms. One of them was about his own origins. Although he didn't have much attachment to his past life, he still wanted to see it if possible. He had once seen a world that seemed like Huaxia in the grand sights of the large world, where people walked on swords, contrasting sharply with the steel forest. The Discernment Beast said,
I know. My condition is tea leaves.
Lin Moyu was slightly surprised.
Tea leaves?
The Discernment Beast said,
I want tea leaves better than those used for the void Dao tea, along with better water for brewing.
Lin Moyu quickly understood and took out some leaves from the world tree and some sap from the golden and silver trees.
Will these meet your expectations?
The Discernment Beast's eyes lit up, and it said in a deep voice,
Yes.
Seeing its reaction, Lin Moyu realized something was off, but he didn't say anything immediately. Instead, he handed over the world tree leaves and the golden and silver tree sap.
Since they're acceptable, please tell me.
The Discernment Beast said,
The void realm reflects countless worlds. There are not just one but several worlds called Huaxia. Do you have more information?
Lin Moyu said,
The Huaxia world I'm talking about has a country called Longhua. Their writing is like this.
As he spoke, Lin Moyu drew a few characters.
The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao.
The Discernment Beast looked at these characters.
According to what you said, there are 3 such worlds. These 3 worlds are all located within the Jianmu Great Soul Domain, not far from each other, within the same small soul domain. I can give you the specific location, but if you want to go to the Jianmu Great Soul Domain, it will be somewhat difficult.
Lin Moyu asked,
What's the difficulty?
The Discernment Beast replied,
Firstly, the Great Soul Domain is so named because it is governed by innate treasures. At the edge of the Great Soul Domain, there's a barrier similar to a world screen that only a first-rate soul can pass. Secondly, once you leave the Great Soul Domain, you enter the Wanda True Void. This is different from the True Void areas within the Great Soul Domain. It's full of dangers, and even small Soul Domain kings can easily fall. Lastly, in the Wanda True Void, there is no direction. Finding your way to Jianmu won't be easy. These 3 points are the difficulties. Most small Soul Domain kings know this, so they don't set conditions for going there.
Lin Moyu asked,
Is there a safe way to reach the Jianmu Great Soul Domain?
The Discernment Beast chuckled and set a condition.
A spirit flower.
Lin Moyu didn't hesitate and immediately handed over a spirit flower. He had plenty of them, and exchanging one for an answer was a good deal. The Discernment Beast said,
Emperors can cross the Wanda True Void using innate treasures. If you really want to go, you can try to find an emperor and ask for help. But whether it succeeds or not, I don't know. I can tell you something for free. According to your world's timeline, the emperors should be busy for the next 10,000 years. The 9 treasures resonance has just ended, and they are preoccupied.
10,000 years. This exceeded Lin Moyu's expectations. Fortunately, returning to his past life wasn't urgent. Lin Moyu continued to ask.
Next question. There was once a treasure called the Xinyan Tower, owned by someone named Meng Anwen. Do you know where he is now?
As soon as this question was asked, the Discernment Beast's expression changed abruptly, its eyes becoming sharp and dangerous. Lin Moyu met its gaze and could sense the unease within. After a moment, the Discernment Beast slowly uttered 2 words.
I don't know.
Chapter 3676. The Discernment Beast with Layered Intentions. Lin Moyu and the Discernment Beast chatted for a long time, and Lin Moyu asked many questions. Most of his questions were answered, and Lin Moyu realized that he didn't know much anymore. The questions he asked were beyond what most people would think about. The Discernment Beast also gained a lot from Lin Moyu, almost exchanging 1 spirit flower for each question. After a while, Lin Moyu bid farewell to the Discernment Beast. The Soul Heart King was waiting outside with the Dragon Lake King beside him. The 2 small soul domain kings seemed to be in harmony, chatting with each other. Little Python, who was nearby, looked uncomfortable but didn't dare say anything. The Dragon Lake King's injuries had healed, and its gaze was complex when it saw Lin Moyu. The Soul Heart King smiled.
Lin friend, are you done asking questions?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes, let's go.
The Soul Heart King nodded and said to the Dragon Lake King,
We might stay in the Dragon Lake small soul domain for a while. Please don't mind.
The Dragon Lake King snorted.
I won't bother with you.
It flew into the mist, heading towards the Discernment Beast. This scene made Lin Moyu feel that the Dragon Lake King was like a child who hadn't grown up, at least in terms of temperament. Lin Moyu sat on Little Python and said to the Soul Heart King,
Please lead the way. I have some things to think about.
The Soul Heart King nodded and led the way without disturbing Lin Moyu. He was considerate and knew that Lin Moyu must have asked many questions and needed time to think them through. Lin Moyu indeed had things to think about, but not about the questions themselves. Instead, he was pondering the Discernment Beast. He had asked many questions that seemed unrelated but actually had internal connections. From the questions and the Discernment Beast's responses, Lin Moyu could see deeper implications. The Discernment Beast was a void beast that had lived for countless years, with an unknown realm and power. It had the unique ability to hear across countless realms. The current emperors were mostly its juniors, making it the oldest and highest-ranking existence in the void realm. Normally, such an existence should have extremely stable emotions, unmoved by joy or anger. However, the Discernment Beast was not like that. It could be surprised, and its actions might deceive, but its eyes couldn't hide its true feelings. Anything that could surprise the Discernment Beast must be significant. For example, when Lin Moyu mentioned the Xinyan Tower and Meng Anwen, the Discernment Beast said it didn't know, but its eyes betrayed it.
The Discernment Beast knew about the Xinyan Tower and Meng Anwen, but the tower was terrifying in its mind, so it dared not speak. Why was it afraid? Was it afraid of Meng Anwen or the existence behind him, the white-robed old man?
Although Lin Moyu didn't know the exact answer, he could confirm that Meng Anwen was likely still alive, and the Xinyan Tower still existed. The ancient battlefield ruins in the large world, which were destroyed and resembled the Xinyan Tower, must have come from somewhere. Meng Anwen had left some information, indicating that there was someone behind him. Otherwise, with Meng Anwen's power, he couldn't have left such a large mystery. The person behind Meng Anwen was also one of the figures behind the small world. Without a doubt, it was the white-robed old man. In other words, the Discernment Beast knew about the white-robed old man's existence but dared not even mention it.
It seems that to unravel this mystery, I'll have to reach the same realm as the white-robed old man.
According to the Discernment Beast, not all emperors wanted to transcend. However, in the history of the Void Realm, many emperors had come and gone.
Emperors have no worries about lifespan. If they don't find a way to transcend, they are immortal. So, where did these emperors go? The Discernment Beast had the opportunity to become an emperor but never did. Instead, it secretly cultivated several emperors. What was its purpose?
In the conversation with the Discernment Beast, Lin Moyu caught some subtle information. The Discernment Beast didn't want to become an emperor. It was like an existence standing behind the emperors, able to cultivate one emperor after another without becoming one itself. It could watch the changes in the Void Realm over countless years, watching emperors rise and fall, laughing at the turmoil. At the same time, it didn't want to transcend. The instincts that should be present in void beasts were completely absent in it. It was like a stake firmly planted in the void realm, unwilling to leave. All this must have a reason. Becoming an emperor must involve some unpleasant things. Moreover, the Discernment Beast knew about the world tree leaves and the golden and silver tree sap. Lin Moyu thought it unlikely that the Discernment Beast only learned about them when Lin Moyu offered them to the Soul Heart King. The only possibility was that the Discernment Beast had always known about them and their effects, so it didn't need to test them. It asked for spirit flowers directly, without demanding anything else, as if the price was already set. Everything seemed strange. When Lin Moyu asked about the Huaxia world, the Discernment Beast didn't hesitate, answering as if it had anticipated the question and prepared the answer in advance, including the information about the 3 Huaxia worlds in the Jianmu Great Soul domain and the difficulty of crossing the domain. The Discernment Beast spoke too quickly. Answering too quickly raised questions. The answers seemed prepared, waiting for Lin Moyu to ask. In later questions, the Discernment Beast mentioned the Huaxia world several times, suggesting that Lin Moyu should visit it. Lin Moyu even wondered if the Discernment Beast knew that he had come from a Huaxia world. The more he thought, the stranger it seemed. He felt that the Discernment Beast wasn't normal, but he had no evidence. Just then, he heard the Soul Heart King's voice.
Lin friend, we've arrived.
The Discernment Beast was drinking tea alone when a white figure appeared before it. The Discernment Beast trembled and slowly bowed its head, its eyes filled with respect.
I have seen you, sir.
If Lin Moyu were there, he would have recognized the white-robed old man as the one who gave him the ancestral water. The white-robed old man said,
Give them to me.
The Discernment Beast respectfully handed over the world tree leaves, the golden and silver tree sap, and the spirit flowers. The white-robed old man nodded in satisfaction and took the items, saying in a low voice,
Your performance was a bit out of line. I suppose you revealed some clues.
The Discernment Beast trembled, keeping its head bowed and not daring to speak. The white-robed old man continued,
But it doesn't matter much. You've completed this task. This is your reward.
After giving a few more instructions, the white-robed old man left, leaving a small gourd on the table. The Discernment Beast took a deep breath, picked up the gourd, and said in a low voice,
Little Jinku, come over.